What's happening? Welcome in. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, everyone. Today is Wednesday. It is the 29th of July. I want to welcome you guys into today's live, today's walk and talk. Let's have a great morning today. You spent enough time sitting around watching other people not get things done. You are now here. You have an opportunity to get things done for yourself. Stop watching others. Stop living other people's lives. Stop trying to see how other people are performing and start performing for yourself. So let me say to my supporters, to all of the viewers out there who are here to be positive and to be engaged in this positive conversation, welcome in. Make sure that you come in. Let me know where you're checking in from, what time of day it is where you are. Let's have a good connection and conversation this morning. For those of you who are haters and you don't have anything better to do with your time and you're just awake and you're looking for a place to share your hate, could you please find somewhere else to be today? I would appreciate that. That would make us all feel better, because you know and we know you don't have anything to contribute. Good morning, good morning, good morning, people. Thank you for stopping in. Thank you for coming in to talk today. As you know, the conversation is about how's that working for you. There's this need to be productive and get things done, people. And in order for us to do that, there's a understanding that we need to be the ones to do it. So welcome in this morning. Thank you for being here. Let's get down to business. Let's get down to the, what do they call it? The sticks and rocks. Thank you for being here. Make sure as you check in, guys, you let me know where you're checking in from, what time of day it is, where you are, what you've been doing, whether it's your morning, your noon, or your night. Pull some things up. So, how many of you have come into the day understanding what your focus is and what it is you're trying to get done? Or how many of you are just wandering into your day or wandering out of your day, trying to figure out why things continue to happen the way they do? Let's do a better job of being where we need to be, how we need to be, and the way we want to be on a regular basis. Let's just stop being victims to our own existence, and let's start being participants in our own lives. And so today is about understanding how life is working for you and whether or not you are actively involved in your own life. I want to start off today with a simple question. And it's what I just said. How are things working for you, right? So it's not the intentions, not your excuses, not what you plan to do, the things you've been doing over and over. How's that working for you? Bruce, good morning. Welcome in, brother. So those things that you keep doing over and over. And we talk here about repetition. We talk about discipline. Discipline has a simple framework. Starts with repetition. That's just getting to start doing something. This is before you know exactly how well you're going to be at it, before you even know exactly how it's done. Repetition is the process of getting started to be engaged. You follow up repetition with patience, so you can develop that skill, and then with patience you move on, you couple those to develop consistency, which is where you start to grade what you're doing, and then you have to persevere, meaning you have to go through the times that may be difficult, so may have challenges in order to reach your ultimate goal. Here's the thing: knowing that that's the process is different from performing that correctly, because for a lot of us, we want to do something so bad, but we're so reluctant to learning from those who have the ability to teach us that we don't do it correctly. So what does this mean? We can get into something and we can say, hey, I want to do this thing. Like, I really want to be involved with whatever it is, being a personal trainer, or I really want to be involved with movies or writing, whatever the thing may be. We may say, hey, I am adamant that I want to be a part of this process. I want this to be a part of my future. But we don't really understand how to do it. So we start doing something and we're like, okay, well, I'm going to learn. But if we keep going back and doing the same thing, it gets to a point, and this is the difference between being disciplined and being hard-headed. Is discipline, that repetition and patience allows for you to learn the appropriate process. Consistency is where you start to grade it. It is inconsistency where you have to understand persevering is still a learning process. And so there may be things missing from your repetition. There may be things missing from what you're doing over and over. There may be things missing from your from a consistency standpoint that are being graded that you're not doing correctly. So you just keep running your head into a wall over and over and over again. And that's what a lot of people deal with. A lot of people can deal with believing that they're growing and going in the right direction and then falling off. Here's how we deal with that. Here's how we overcome that. The biggest way to be able to overcome that as people who are developing discipline is to understand that there is a requirement that we evaluate as we go, as we grow. We evaluate who we are, how we've been, what we're doing. And we continue to look at that. We continue to use that, and we continue to grow. And we can see examples in our lives every day about people who have started things, right? People who have gotten to a certain place. And I love using sports as an analogy, where you get to a certain place and you say, okay, well, now it's time to make a change. Well, sometimes it's not. And for a lot of people out here, you look in the face of what others say to you and how others feel about you and what they think about you. And you believe, well, if I just keep doing this, I'm going to prove them wrong. Well, that's mistake number one. Your life is not an opportunity to prove anybody wrong. Your life isn't even really an opportunity to prove yourself right. What your life is the opportunity for you to enjoy your existence. If you spend your life trying to constantly show other people that they're wrong, then you're still living your life for someone else. Your life is not an opportunity for you to go out here and allow yourself to constantly be judged by others, or to think that you have to constantly create some type of existence or some type of presence or emotional connection with people to say, oh, I know who I am. You can't tell me. And you find yourself constantly trying to, in this perpetual cycle of showing people you're not who they think you are. And this is one of the things, and this isn't, there has to be a point. There has to be a point where we're both smart enough and dumb enough to move forward. And there has to be a degree of bold energy and the daring to endeavor to do more. Excuse me. And what I mean by that is we find people often who we can be critical of. We'll look at other people in the world and we'll be critical of who they are, how they act, and then not have the propensity to perform on the same level they have. Right? Look at the number of millionaires that Donald Trump has created simply from people hating him, simply from people taking the time out of their day to hate Donald Trump. There are more people who have gotten rich from hating Donald Trump than there are people who have gotten rich by supporting Donald Trump. Why is that? What is the nature of man that says, I want to go watch the people who don't like me? I want to hear from the people who care the least about me. You have people who will sit on this platform day in and day out, I mean for hours, and just hate Donald Trump. Just hate him and hate him and hate him. And then you have people who will go in and say, hey, I want to hate him too. Hey, Zoe, good morning. How you doing, brother? Good to see you this morning. And so now you have people who are like, I would rather be a part of hating something than a part of my own life. And then you have people who sit here and talk about it. My thing is, how is that working out for you? How does that work out for your life? We get so caught up in trying to hate other people. We do it across the board in many of the things we do. We go out, we go into our day, we go into our job, and we hate the work that we do. We hate the people we work for. We hate what we have to do. This is a choice. You signed a contract. This is the way that you decided you wanted to make a living. But now you're filled with hate. You have to understand. We all have to understand in this process when we're having these conversations and we're talking about what we love or what we hate or who we are and how we represent ourselves, that quite often many of us aren't representing ourselves at all. We're representing the positions, the thoughts, and the feelings of other people and not ourselves. Good morning. What is that? Albie? Abby? Welcome in. You either hate the Republican Party or the Democrat Party. And this is what a lot of people do, is they look for something to hate. They don't even care about their own party, which is why so many people can sit around and they're unable to discuss what it is that their party has done, how it supports them, how it's moving the needle forward. And they'll just sit there and they'll just be like, oh, you're bad. Look how bad you are. We do it in our personal lives. We get in conversations and arguments with our spouses. We get in it with our family members. And then it gets to a point that we're not even talking about the thing we're talking about. We're sitting here and we're arguing and we're putting each other down because there is this thing that is appreciation of disregard. How is that working out for you? You have to love yourself enough to understand that at some point you got to take action for you to grow, for you to start moving forward. And this is what discipline does, because it is out of anger, it is out of spite that this I'm going to show you thing builds up inside of us. And we spend so much time trying to show somebody that they're wrong that we can't see for ourselves, where we have gaps, where we have spaces, where we need to be able to take better action. That's an issue. That's a major issue. Give me a second, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. So what do? How do we have the ability to be able to move away from just doing things that are designed for us to be spinning our wheels and hating one another? How do we find the ability to move away from that to actually being productive? Where do we find the space? Where do we find the energy to do that? It has to come through discipline. And the reason it has to come through discipline is because discipline is how you're going to be able to understand, how you're going to be able to see specifically in your life what it is that you need to do. And it's going to show you how to do it, because there are simple steps to follow. So when you have discipline, what discipline is going to do for you is discipline is going to teach you that there are steps that you're responsible for you to be able to grade yourself and move to where you want to be. And stop being driven by somebody else's hate for somebody else. And be driven by your own love and your own appreciation of your own life. Some people program. Some people are programmed. And the thing about it is, when you get the program working the way the program really wants to work, and the system is running the way the system is supposed to run, you don't even have to interact with it anymore. Well, that's a very, very powerful feeling. That's a very powerful feeling when you start looking at the ability that you can set something up. You could set up a series of things. I love making sports analogies, but when you could set something up and you can say, I'm going to game plan. I'm going to game plan these certain things. I'm going to do this, 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 and this, and then it's going to make this thing happen. This is why I love boxing. When you watch boxing and you can watch in real time and say, hey, I'm going to watch these things happen, and I'm going to be a part of having these things happen, it makes things move so quickly. And so that is called being a part of a system. And so, who's this? Amy, how you doing? Welcome in, right? I'm gonna ask you not to spam my chat, please. I'm gonna ask before I kick you. And that's not what our discussion is about. So again, as I said at the beginning, you're welcome to come in here. You're welcome to share. I'm in no way a hater about the presence of anyone on the channel, but if you come in here, you start spamming the chat, and you start just saying random stuff, then I'm gonna have to kick you. So what does this mean about us being able to live and to move forward for ourselves when we start talking about developing our own understanding and our own ability to create systems? Well, when we can create systems, what creating systems does for us is creating systems allows for us to go out and to know that if we do this thing, this next thing is going to follow, and we'll start to see progress. And so when you watch boxing and you watch I keep going back to the Canelo, Canelo versus Crawford. And you're watching two great boxers who can see and they understand and they study each other, and the ability to parry, the ability to counter, the ability to engage. Excuse me, that's a very high level of art that they're performing right there. And when you see this thing, it makes for a great view. It makes for those of us who can appreciate it, it gives us a great opportunity to be able to appreciate it. That's a big deal. That's something spectacular that I think we can learn from. Now, the thing about it is there are a lot of people who can't see things that way. There are a lot of us who don't have the ability to see things that way. And because we don't have the ability to see things that way, we may not be able to appreciate it. But we have to be able to start to understand how powerful that can be in our own lives, to know what's coming, to be prepared for it, and then to be able to act on it. And that's how discipline is going to work for us, right? It's going to give us the opportunity to truly understand what it is we're trying to achieve, and then what we need to do in order to get there. As you come in, guys, as always, I'm going to ask you guys, as you stop in, please check in. Let me know where you're checking in from, what time of day it is where you are. You can drop in your name or your time of day down below, and feel free to share that. So one of the big keys to discipline, one of the big keys is understanding that we want to be aware We want to be aware of ourselves. We want to be aware of our lives. We want to be aware of our existence. We want to be aware of our intentions and our development. And then we want to grow in that way. Give me a second, guys. All right, guys, so I popped this question in there. What needs to change for you to grow? For your discipline to take place, for you to move forward, for you to start seeing a different impact in your life, for you to start seeing a different outcome and a different result in your life, what needs to change? What needs to change for you in order for that to happen, right? Because we say we want to go places, we find ourselves doing things, but is there something that needs to change? What is the thing for you? I know for me, I had to make sure that I was following step one. There are a lot of different things that I'm working on. And step one is making sure that I'm doing the repetition and I'm being patient, and that I'm following through on the steps of showing up in the time I say I will show up. It's going to be important to understand showing up for yourself is way more difficult than showing up for someone else, because, and this again has to do with us looking outside of us. We are so caught up in showing up for people outside of us, whether it's to love them or to hate them. We're so caught up in showing up for people outside of us that we find ourselves just being constant observers of opportunities to hate, constantly looking for opportunities to be disgruntled or to complain, because we show up for our job, but we really don't want to. We want to be doing something else with our life, but we haven't done the work to be able to do it for ourselves. And so we blame our job for the way our lives are, because we didn't do what was necessary for us to not to be doing what we're doing. And so now it's our job's fault. Oh, you're mad at your job. Oh, this job sucks. I don't like the people I work with. I don't like how people treat me. I don't like how they talk about me. I don't like what's going on. And you have all of these issues and stuff going on in your job, and you're blaming it on everything else except for yourself. You're not taking it in for yourself. Again, hater, dude, like, this isn't the place, my channel isn't the place for this. So, like, go argue with somebody, go find, like, Amy's not even here anymore. Go find Amy somewhere else and argue there. Like, start your own channel. Like, I don't know, Messenger, but don't do that on my channel. That's what my channel's about. And so we find ourselves constantly in a space where we're hating on ourselves and we're hating on other people, that we don't have the ability to appreciate and to be able to grow, because we don't care enough about ourselves to get up for ourselves. We're getting up for other people. We're living for other people. We're acting for other people. We're taking actions for other people. And we need to be taking actions for ourselves. This is important, because when we figure out that we're taking actions for ourselves, then we could take them and be far more productive in the process of taking these actions. We can do these things that are going to have value to us. We're going to be able to look at and see the tangible productivity of the work that we do, versus just sit around and just watch other people's lives and then be disgruntled with where their lives are as opposed to where our lives are. If you want something different in your life, if you want anything in your life, what are you prepared to do in order to get it? What part of you are you prepared to work on? And in this continued march towards discipline, I'm going to recommend that you find that thing, to challenge yourself. What is it that I'm looking for? What is it that I want to do that is going to improve my life, versus try to tear down someone else's? Success is not found in the demise of others, it's found in the growth of yourself. And if you are growing and believing in yourself, there's a true degree of success to be found there. And that's what we talk about here. That's what we do. That's what we discuss. So let's check our habits. Let's check our behaviors. Again, guys, welcome in. For all of you out there, if you haven't done so yet, please take a moment, double tap the screen, hit that like button. It doesn't cost you anything to be able to do it. It's just showing some support. Would love to see it. Ronaldo or Messi? Both great. I prefer Messi for the artistry of it. Ronaldo does a lot of great things on the field, but Messi just the ability to keep the ball on his toes, it's insane. I feel like that would be a lot more difficult for me to do. Thanks for checking in. So, when we're living our life and we're discussing our opportunities to move forward and our opportunities for growth, one of the things we want to keep in mind, guys, is that the evaluation of ourself has to be true. Right? It's the same way I said, don't hate on others, don't hate on yourself. Right? A lot of people believe that being self-aware and being critical of one's own behaviors means to hate on themselves. And it doesn't. Give me just a moment, guys. Give me a second. Gotta fix this microphone. Sometimes this audio goes out and it starts to lose its sync, and I have to fix it, hoping everything is good there. And all right, so we should be back in. So again, thank you everyone for being here today. If you're just now getting here, guys, please do me a favor, check in. Let me know where you're checking in from, what time of day it is, where you are. If you haven't done so yet, please take this opportunity to go ahead and tap the screen and like. Go ahead and drop a thumbs up. Again, guys, doesn't cost you anything. Just a way of saying that, hey, I've been here, I've been watching, I've seen anything that I found of value. Today, we're talking about how is that working for you? And primarily, it's about how the behaviors, the actions, and the things that you've done in the past, the steps that you've taken, how are those working for you? How has that process been for you? Is there value in it? Are you finding that there is a benefit in it? Are you finding that you personally appreciate what has been happening in your life? Or are you finding yourself in a hater circle? Are you finding yourself where you hate what you do, you hate how you do it, you hate the experience, and everything is stuff that you want to go away, but you don't know how to make it go away? And then we get frustrated, we get caught in a cycle where because we can't make the things we hate go away, we just start hating in a circle, right? How is that working for you? And so there has to be a transition of what's the needs, that's what needs to change in your life. 2099, what needs to change what needs to change for you to grow? Is that what your answer is? Hate? So it's important because we are a lot less likely to act on love, even love for ourselves. And this is what I mean, because we can look back into our future. We can look back over our history as human beings, and over our history as human beings, we have been we seek hate, right? There's this part of humans that seek to be to feel like they are one, they want to be chosen, but at the same time, they want to be, you have to understand the suffering. So I need you to see how I'm so great because how I've suffered so much and I've been through so much. Do you understand the suffering? And there's something to be said about the experiences of people's lives that they have worked through and they've gone past and they've grown through. There's something to be said about that. There's something entirely different to be said about when people simply want to be the ones just like, look at me, look how bad my life is. Oh, feel bad for me. Oh, you don't understand how hard it is. Right? The people who talk out of both sides of their mouth, and I'll see this all the time, and it happens a lot, especially here in the United States, is you don't understand. Like, I'm willing to work. I work hard. I do this and I do this and I do this and I do this and I do this. Okay, well, you're doing all those things. Oh, but you don't understand how hard it is for me because I had to do this because I don't get this. I don't get this. I don't get this. I don't get this. Hold on. What are we doing? Like, what's the focus? If you're working on what you're working on, then work on that thing and get better at that thing and grow that thing. This isn't about hating what other people get. This isn't about chastising people because they choose to live their life differently. You want everyone, there's a difference between, hey, I want what's good. I want people to have what's good for them, and I want people to have what I want them to have. I want them to be happy the way I'm happy. I want to tell them what happy looks like to them. I want them to want the experiences I want. They need to be more like me in order for me to care about how they are at all. And what that really is hate. It's hating on, I don't like how you are. I don't like how you live. I don't agree with your view. I don't agree with your thought process. And so I want to diminish it. I want to diminish you. I want to diminish what you do. I want to diminish how you do it. I want to decrease all of these things in your life. And I want to do it because I can, because this is just my choice. And then so many people sit around, they don't move forward, they don't do anything else with their lives, they don't grow, and then they become disgruntled, and it's everybody else's fault that you haven't gotten anywhere. It's everyone else's fault that you've not been able to achieve anything. It's everybody else's fault that you're no longer able to get what you want out of life. It's not yours. It's everybody else's fault. And why is it everyone else's fault? Oh, it's everyone else's fault because if they had done what they needed to do for me to be able to have what I wanted to have, then I would be fine. And I need people to be that way. We have to change the whole entire concept of what we believe is how we should be for somebody else. And I don't know who or what has led you people to my channel, but you're not getting any voice on my channel. You can go. 2099 said, I fully lost myself last year and I feel like growth isn't an option anymore. How old are you? So let's delve into this 2099. This is some of the things that we do here on the channel is we delve into finding solutions to these types of issues. And so if you fully lost yourself last year and you feel like growth isn't an option anymore, if you don't mind sharing what happened, how old are you and where are you going? I want to give you a time to expand on that further because it's this whole thing that I talk about, the proof is in the performance of it. The proof is in the willingness to engage, the willingness to speak, and the willingness to seek out solutions. And you don't have to go into too much detail, but like, was this a financial thing? Was it a relationship thing? Was it fitness? Was it career? Family? What was it? Excuse me. I'm gonna wait a moment. I know that this feed doesn't go out at the same speed to everyone. Just wanted to see and give Lost in 2099 an opportunity to share. And so what we see people in life is that we have to start to put things into perspective, and we have to start to understand and grow. All of these, all of the above. Okay, that's that's a real life thing. So 2099 sits pretty much in all of the areas where you could possibly lose yourself. You lost yourself. So do you believe you've hit rock bottom? That's important because at some point, in order to be anywhere, in order to grow, in order to achieve anything, we need to assess where we are. And it's hard to do, especially in the middle of it. It's very difficult while being in the middle of a challenge or in the middle of pain to be able to understand whether or not we have the ability to recover from it. However, we need to take a moment and assess it. And I want you to do that. I want you to take a look and truly evaluate, like, is this rock bottom? Is this as bad as it could possibly be for you? Because for some people, they have to hit rock bottom in order to rebound. And if you're not at rock bottom, sometimes what we need to be able to do is we need to be able to see where we are, and we need to be able to assess, and we need to be able to process, right? And it still takes discipline. Like all of these things, like it's like just getting up in the morning, like I just getting up. And so we need some details about what exactly any one experience or any one thing that you want to do. Because if you can start to see growth in one area, you can apply discipline to those other areas and start seeing growth as well. And that's going to be important for the development of anyone. Tyrone said procrastination. That's a major one. That's a big change that a lot of people have to make a change on. That's why I say the first step for anyone who's engaged the show before, the first step in discipline is repetition. It's not consistency. Everyone says you have to be consistent, and consistent is what makes you procrastinate. You don't have to be consistent to get started. You just have to get started. You just need to keep getting up. If you want to write, you need to write every day. If you want to learn, you need to learn every day. If you're working on passing something, you need to participate in it every day. It doesn't have to be the greatest, it doesn't have to be the best, it doesn't have to be like full on, but in order for you to start doing it, you have to get started. And then you need to start to do it, and you need to do it on a regular basis. Here's the reason why doing it on a regular basis is so important, is because as you start to do this on a regular basis, as you start to grow and you are making development. Well, what's going on, OG? Welcome in. Thanks for being here this morning. As you start to grow and you start to see development in yourself, you're going to know that other things are possible. But when there's procrastination is just the belief that you have to be good at it in order to do it. Like you don't. You just gotta go do it. Like don't grade it. Repetition isn't graded. Repetition is just something you do. Just keep doing this over and over and over. Nope, we're not grading it yet. Just keep doing it. Little kids who go into to martial arts at a very young age, you can't grade that. You don't have the dexterity and the muscle development for us to be able to grade that. So what do you have to do? So if you're going into it, you finding yourself that you have these physical challenges for things that you're trying to achieve, and you're like, okay, well, what's the problem? Well, primarily the problem is that I don't know how to do this yet. My body doesn't work in a way to be able to make this happen. How do you change that? You change it over time by continuing to do it. And as you develop more and more skills, more and more physical abilities in that space, you go from repetition and then having patience to learn it, to being consistent. And okay, I need you to hit it here now. I need your foot in this place. I need your hips to turn in this way. And so now you start to build on what was there. So over the long term for any of us, and again, discipline is a system like anything else. If you follow the system, you're going to get phenomenal results. Start with repetition. Repetition just means you show up so that you can learn it. Be patient while you're learning it. Consistency means that you've established through repetition and patience that you know how to show up. And now we can grade it. And once we start to grade it through the consistency phases, we now move on to perseverance, which is using this to understand what our next steps are, how do we grow, where are we going from where we are now. All of those things become a part of our development. I'm trying to find the right place to put this. I'm hoping that's going to be a better place for this microphone. So those are all the types of things that have to happen in order for us to start to grow, is to understand this, is to understand what we're looking for. And if we're looking in the right places and we're doing the right things, we're going to see this growth. We're going to see this development. We're going to see the improvement. All right, guys. Again, it's probably time for me to try to figure out a way to, I don't know if it's the mic, I don't know if it's the algorithm. I do know my research, there have been quite a few channels that I've visited recently where there has been lag in the audio, specifically when using these microphones. I don't know if it's my phone, I don't know if it's the software update, I don't know what it is, but I have to periodically detach and reattach the microphone in order to maintain the audio clarity on it. And so, guys, the big thing is to understand, and what I'm talking about, what I'm saying, how is that working for you, is how are these decisions that you've made, how are these choices that you've made, how are these directions that you've decided to go in helped you? And as Tyrone says, overcoming procrastination is one of those things. And the best way to overcome procrastination is just to start with repetition. Is don't think you have to be good in the beginning. This kills so many people. It's the reason so many people never get started, is because they set an expectation that when they start, they have to be good. This was a huge thing for my oldest son. Is my oldest son does not like not my oldest son does not like not being great at something. No matter how good he really is at something, he cannot stand not being great. What this drives him to do quite often is to seek to be great at something and then say, hey, I want to hide it until I'm great. That's what these videos that we see where people are constantly talking about disappear for 90 days and then come back. That's because people are under the impression that they have to look good before they show up. No one wants anybody to see the process of getting there. No one wants anyone to see the struggles of getting there. They just want to show up looking good. They want the movie montage to last for 1 minute and 30 seconds of them going to the library or learning to dribble the basketball and come back and look how good I am. Well, what do you think everybody else has been doing? If you disappear for 6 months to go work on yourself and then come back, what do you think everybody else has been doing for those 6 months? You think people have been sitting around for 6 months saying, man, I can't wait for him. I can't wait for them to get back. Let me sit here and see what he's going to look like in 6 months. You don't think other people are sitting there getting their own work in, doing their own thing? You don't have time to be sitting around thinking about what somebody else is going to be doing on 6 months. If you're putting your 6 months into yourself, if you're doing your develop, you're not thinking about what other people are doing. This is the thing about how does that work for you? How is this fixation on the performance of others working for you? How is this determined need to understand and quantify and define other people's lives? How is that working for you versus working for yourself? Versus you taking that same energy and growing yourself. Here's my thing, guys. I appreciate everyone for being here. I appreciate everybody for being a part of this morning's live. Thank you for taking the opportunity to stop in. If you haven't done so yet, please double tap, drop a thumbs up. It's a great way to support. We love to see it. I want to make sure that I'm sharing with everyone out there that it is a challenge for people to see positive things and be driven to do better or do more by the positivity they see, because it is the nature of our human flesh being, this the psychological development of it, to always draw comparison. And as we draw comparison, we often compare ourselves, and it dictates how we behave and how we act. And so when we start looking at our life and we start drawing comparisons to ourselves and to others, quite often it leads to hate. It leads to us having these feelings that we are not doing enough or that somebody else has an advantage, and we want to make comparisons. And so we no longer do the work we simply need to do in order for us to grow. It's a part of our nature. And so what does this mean? It means, and you can test it in your own life, people will respond greater to difficulty and hate than they will to praise and the ability to be able to move forward. They will respond to hate and anger with more energy than they will to love, support, and encouragement. And you see it in people's lives. You can go to somebody you care about right now. You can go to them and you can tell them, I appreciate this process. I appreciate the work you've done. I appreciate how your contributions. And you can run down a list of the things that that person has done. And they'll be like, thank you. Go to them and tell them they did something wrong. One thing. Tell them they did one thing wrong. Watch the energy change. Watch the conversation and the engagement change. Watch the feelings change. The effort, it all changes. Why? Because there is this part of us, and you have to identify it in order to stamp it out. There's this part of us that wants to be a victim, so we can always say we're overcoming being a victim. We're overcoming being put down, stepped on, or pushed down. For so many people, we turn ourselves into victims in our own lives. We want to be victims. We want to be able to say, oh, well, my life is so bad, you don't understand what I've been through. And we embrace the victim mentality, which never allows for us to become victors, because you're holding on so hard to what you haven't been given the opportunity to do, or how somebody else sees you, or how somebody speaks to you, that is your reward. The reward for you is being the victim. Oh, look at how hard my life is. Oh. You're going to constantly be in that space. Stop doing that. Get up. Do your thing. Become the best version of you. Put in the work to be the best version of you. And this isn't something that just happens by chance. This doesn't happen by chance. It happens because we do work. We do the work. We get up and we get it done. If you're going to get up and you're going to get it done, you're going to do the work, then do that. Don't even question whether or not you're going to do it. Stop looking for someone to even understand it, and you understand it. Stop looking for someone to do for you what you're not willing to do for yourself. You do it. You get up. You get yourself to where you need to be. And I'm telling you, as much as we like to say that we're victims, when we start doing work, when we start taking steps to get to where it is we say we want to be, trust me, you're going to find some support along the way. The same way, if you want to sit around and hate and complain and talk about how bad your life is, you're going to find people along the way who are going to agree with you. You're going to gravitate and you're going to find people who are going to agree that, oh, it's so hard. And I can have this conversation in this light and understand that there are things that we have experienced. There are systems that have been put in place. There are things that have happened in our history that have impacted our ability as humans to be able to do things and move forward, especially cohesively. I understand that there are systems currently in place specifically designed to keep us distracted and away from growth. I know this. I'm aware of it. We can see it every day in our news, in our politics, and in our sports. Here is the question. What are you doing about it in your own life? I can't change someone else's life. I can't control somebody else's behavior, but I can in my own. I can be who I'm supposed to be and how I'm supposed to be. And to speak to that over on my family channel. It's me and my wife. She's currently developing that channel. She's growing it. It's called Bird Babies. When you watch the channel, you can see over time how she's grown, how she's improved the editing process, how she's improved being able to get the content and post it on a regular basis, how she's become more consistent with that, going from just the repetition of putting stuff up to putting stuff up with an understanding of when, what time, and how often and how much, to transitioning from that over into now being consistent with turning it into a revenue stream. All of that takes time, but what you have to do is you have to understand that you're working on you. You can see how we do it over on the baby birds. You can go to the baby birds, see specifically the work we do. It's 6:16 a.m., which is also my wife's birthday, 6:16. So I want to say to my wife, I love you. Good morning, sweetheart. I'm thinking about you. And happy a.m. birthday. I don't know what time it is where you are, people, but it just turned 6:17 a.m. So as you check in, please let me know what time of day it is where you are, where you're checking in from, whether it's morning, noon, or night. And join us as part of the conversation. And so how is that working for you, people? How is the thing that you say is important for you? How is that effort and that time and that energy that you're spending, how is that working for you? How is that turning out in the life that you want to see for you? 6:17 Central Time? Oh, Central Florida. Yes, that's the part of Florida that's on the East Coast, and then you got like what is it, the Panhandle? I think that's in like I don't know, Mountain Time or something like that. Welcome in. I want to encourage everyone, and this is my thing. I would much rather do this than anything else. I want to encourage you to understand that you have within you the ability to take steps and see growth in your life. You have within you the opportunity to wake up every day and to use the system that is discipline to see growth and development in your life. And when you use it, it makes it so powerful and productive in order to be able to move forward. And what I mean by making it powerful and productive is when you become disciplined, you see something, you plan for it, you start with that repetition. That patience allows for you to see yourself getting better. And as you become consistent, you see that goal moving closer and closer to you. You see that achievement getting closer and closer to you. And then that allows for you to look back. And what a lot of us don't do is we don't look back and review not only the things that have been mistakes, but the things where we showed up and we did well. And we take the opportunity to celebrate and appreciate and enjoy those times. And then also move into what our future is going to look like move into what our presence looks like in determining what our future is going to look like in our current behaviors. When you work within the system of discipline, there's so many great things that it's possible for you to achieve. But you have to understand that it's your opportunity and it's you who need to do it. You need to get up and get started. You can't ask other people to do for you things you're not willing to do for yourself. Don't ask me to get you up and to encourage you and to pat you on your back and to support you if you're not going to get up and encourage yourself and pat yourself on the back and support you. You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to get started. You don't have to be great yet, but you do have to get started. And it's when you get started and you start moving and you start doing the repetition of I need to do it, I need to do it, I need to do it, I need to do it. You're going to find yourself moving forward. You're going to find yourself getting closer to the end of that book. You're going to find yourself getting closer to that fitness goal. You're going to find yourself living and feeling better. You're going to find yourself becoming healthier. You're going to find your relationships growing. Because you need to get up, you need to be ready, you need to set a goal, and then you need to start to perform. And when you get up and you do it, you're moving yourself there so quickly. You're taking control of that. You are now taking control of your life, your destiny, your objectives, and your achievements. And you're built to do it, people. We don't achieve these things by mistake. We don't get to these places by accident. We are meant to do it, people. It's who we are meant to be. You not only have this within you to be able to do. You're not only designed to be able to do it, but it's a part of your structure. And you feel best when you're within it. When you live within the realm and the power of what you're truly capable of, you're going to feel better. You're going to feel better physically. You're going to feel better emotionally. You're going to feel better on a daily basis because you're going to take ownership of your life. You're going to stop handing that ownership over to other people. You're going to stop allowing for other people to dictate your day, your life, your feeling, your moments. As my mama used to say to me when I was young, you can't let nobody have your goat. You can't get nobody your goat like that. You can't have somebody dragging you around because they say things and show you things that aren't true. At some point, you're going to have to be like, okay, I understand how you feel. I hear what you're saying. That's not true. And so I'm not going to allow for it to be the determiner, the determining factor, or the dictator of my behaviors. And this is how we get better. This is how we grow. This is how we find ourselves living the type of life that we want to live. Becoming happy with our existence, happy with our productivity, happy with the way that we are currently living and what we're working on. And that's a question to ask yourself. Like, are you happy? Are you happy with what you're doing? Are you happy with what's happening around you? If not, why? What is it that's going on? Is it something you're doing? Is it something that someone else is doing? Is it something that you're hearing? Or is it just the position that you've gotten into? It is now 6:23, guys. We've been on for about an hour now. I want to open this up for opportunity to ask questions, to connect with the audience. And so if you have your questions, if you have anything that you want to share or ask, it'd be a great time to do that now. I'd love to be able to touch on those topics, people.
So 2099, it says, it sucks what you're saying sounds so easy, but when you're lost and fully given up on trying to live, how does a person try to come back to life when they're standing on the edge willingly? Is that standing on the edge willing?
It does suck that it sounds so easy. It does. I'll be completely honest with you. It can sound super easy. It can sound like you're the only person going through it. It could definitely sound that way. It can sound and feel like no one else is having the experience and that you're in this position by yourself. But the reality of it is that's not how it is, right? So, so then what then becomes the concern? If the reality is that you're not in this by yourself, if the reality is that you are not having this experience all by yourself, what other choice do you have? And no, it's not easy. And I'm telling you, as a person who's been there, dude, I'm telling you, I know what rock bottom is, which is why I asked if you hit rock bottom. Do you believe you're at rock bottom? It's not easy. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. But we have to get started, right? We have to pick somewhere and we have to get started. We have to pick a moment. We have to pick a thing and we have to get started. And sometimes that moment is just acknowledging how bad it is. Sometimes that place is just that place where we're like, hey, this is bad. I know this is bad. For me, I don't like it and it's bad. Sometimes that's just where it has to start. It has to start right there in that understanding of, dude, this is bad. And then we move from there forward. There are a lot of things in life that can push us to the edge, but keep in mind, and this is important, the challenges in life only show up when you want to do something. This is the thing about hitting rock bottom is when you hit rock bottom, when you are emotionally and mentally and physically spent and you are at what is considered rock bottom, you can stay there and life doesn't care. Life will let you live there. People will leave you there. We walk past people all the time who are at rock bottom. And then you'll be like, hey, I'd love to help you, but what are you going to do? Where's the step you're willing to take? And when you get to that point and you're in that situation, no, it's not easy, but it has to happen. You have to do it in order for you to get up. And this isn't about sharing misery or saying that my life has in any way been more difficult than anyone else's. But I do know what it's like to be at rock bottom. I do know what it's like to have debilitating pain and anguish. I do know what that feels like. And what does that mean in order for us to move forward? It means that we have to be prepared to take the steps. You have to, and to put it simply, and this is where I developed the discipline system, is you just have to start getting up. You don't have to be good. But to get back, you have to start getting up. You have to start getting back into life. I'm going outside. 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 Why am I going outside? Because I need to get back into my life. And that'll happen. When you start to develop discipline, you'll start to ask questions. And when you have something you're working towards or something that you're living for, that answer will drive you daily. If you do not have something that you're living for, if you don't care, if you haven't found a way to care about wanting to be better, then you're not going to find a way to get better. Because it has to be driven by that desire to be better. I don't know much about the situation that you're talking about, 2099, because you haven't shared much. But I do know in order for you to get better, in order for you to get somewhere, in order for you to see growth, you are going to have to do it. You're going to have to take the moment to do that assessment and then invest in that growth. Invest in what it is that you want to see. And it's a discipline thing. Your energy can feel different. Like me telling you now that, hey, I encourage you. I believe that you can do it, right? And it's different for a lot of people. It doesn't always work the same way. But by and large, most people, when they're told, hey, I believe you, you can do it, they'll be like, man, yeah, but you don't know. They'll stay in that pity cycle. And then the flip side of it is, well, if you want it, get up and get it. I'm not going to sit here and cry with you. If you don't get up and get it, then you don't want it. Whatever it is that you want, you'll do whatever it is to get that thing. So do whatever it is you want to do to get that thing. Stop asking me to stand here and cry with you. Stop asking me to stand here and pray with you. Because we can stand here, we can cry, we can pray, we can hug, we can hold, we can talk, and it's not going to improve the situation. At some point, you're going to have to start moving. You're going to have to take a step. And if you're not prepared to take the step and you don't want to take the step, don't. But I'm not going to keep staying here with you. I'm not going to sit in this hole with you. I'm not going to complain with you. I'm prepared to confront an issue with you, but you don't want to confront it because the issue is you. So that's the other approach. That's the approach that we're more likely to respond to. The approach of, hey, I get it. It's tough. Suck it up. Nobody's coming to help you. If you want to get somewhere, take a step and start going there. You want to get to 2099, then you got to get through 2026 first. And the only way to get through 2026 is to stand up and be a part of your own life. Stop waiting for somebody else to engage and direct and tell you what to do with your life. See, that's the side of it that people respond to. We're more likely to respond to someone daring us to do well than we are to someone encouraging us that we're already doing well and we're worth it. I don't know what this aspect of the human body is, but as a personal trainer, I've seen it done over and over again. I've worked with clients where I've told them, I'm like, hey, it's in you. You have the ability to do it. You have the ability to get to improve and to grow and to achieve. You have this ability in you. Like, you got to believe in yourself. And then I've turned right around and said that you don't have the fight to get to where you want to go. You are not built with the same energy. If you're not built with it, you're not going to make it. So stop telling me about what you can't do and accept what you can't do. So you're either going to get down here, you're going to do it, or you're going to go somewhere else and talk about it. But you're not going to continue to sit in front of me as my client and tell me that you can't lift something that I've seen you lift before. Pick it up, push it. People like the energy of it is different, and people respond to it. Why? I don't know. But can you feed yourself the same way? I've had this conversation over and over again. The military has figured out the formula of breaking you down to the point that you no longer believe in yourself, and then building you back up in a way that you not only believe in yourself, but you believe they're responsible for making you that way. If you can discipline yourself in that way on your own, if you can do in your life what the military does to others, then you're making life changing. So you are absolutely changing your life. You are absolutely changing the level on which you can operate. Because you can break yourself down in your own life and say, get up because you're supposed to. Get up because you told yourself you were going to. You're not going to lay here for another minute. Get up. Get ready. Let's go. We got stuff to do. Yeah, it sucks. You're going to do it anyway. It sucks, but you're going to do it because you know what it is you're trying to achieve. No, you're not good at it yet, but you will be. Go. Let's go. Let's go do whatever. I don't care. Wash the dishes. I don't care what it is. Mop the floor. put away clothes, change the laundry, go for a run. I don't know what it is you're going to do or what it is you have to do. But when you learn that you can discipline yourself, that you can push yourself, you can hold yourself to a standard. We are willing, we are accepting, and we are so prepared to allow for other people to hold us to a standard that we won't hold ourselves to. There's this thing about, oh, well, dare me. I dare you. Where did the dare come from? How do we even create a dare? It is this thing that says you are limited in capability and you want to change that narrative. And so, in order to change that narrative, you say, well, I'm not limited. And so, you try to find a way to define it differently. You try to find a way to position it differently. You try to find a way to word it differently. And so you either try to talk your way out of it until you get to the dare. And God forbid somebody double dog dare you. Can you dare yourself? Are you willing to dare yourself enough to get up and do? Like, just get started. You want to start being more productive and you feel like you're wasting your time, I dare you to put something down. I dare you. So it's far more difficult to stop doing something that is detrimental to you than it is to start doing something that's beneficial for you. And what I mean by that is if you're doing something that's to your detriment, like sleeping 12 hours a day, it's more difficult to stay awake those additional 4 hours, 6 hours, however long it is. It's more difficult for you to stay awake that time than it is for you to add something to do during that time. So if you add something to do for that additional time, like perform a charity, be outside the house, engage with the children, meal plan, whatever. If you find something to do with that additional time, it gives you something to work towards. So when you're trying to grow something, you have something you work towards. When you're trying to stop something, you don't have anything you're working towards. So you're just trying to convince yourself to stop. You're just like, I just want to stop. I'm not going to do this thing anymore. So what are you going to do? So there has to be a replacement. There has to be something to fill that space. And so when we talk about getting to the edge, yeah, man, the words are easy to do. I'm telling you, as a person who has used discipline in the past for a lot of different areas in my life, from both my fitness to my finances to my family, I'm telling you, even now, for the things that I'm working on, for example, growing this channel, there's still a process that I have to follow. I'm studying for the Securities Industry Essentials exam. And there's still a process I have to follow. There has to be discipline. There has to be a commitment to the time necessary in order to read and study the materials so I can complete and take this exam by a certain date. And I've fallen well short of it because my expectation was to already have taken the exam by the midpoint of this year. And we're past that point, but that responsibility is my own. Yes, the talking about it is easy. The doing it is challenging. There's a life to live. There are people. And so for a lot of us, there's no one asking for any of our time. It's just us. But for others, there are people who are asking for your time. You may have children, you may have a spouse, you may have family, loved ones, other responsibilities that is requirement that it takes some of your time. And so we need to create a more realistic timeline for us to be able to accomplish things. But then there are those of us who are just not doing it. So if you can check out of your life because it's hard, if you can check out of your life to fall apart, then you should damn sure be able to check out of your life to put yourself back together. If you've walked away and you're not showing up for all of the people who you say you care about because you're having a hard time, because you're having difficulty, then you need to take that same energy to get yourself fixed. You need to take that same energy to get yourself back where you need to be. Because whether you're not spending time with your loved ones and your children because you can't deal with the world, or whether you're not spending time with your loved one and your children because you are growing yourself significantly in the world and you're improving your performance, your expectation, and your productivity, both of them are doing the same thing. Both of them are taking time away from your children of things that are important to you, but one of them is building the future for that thing. It has a value that's going to return in that space, and one of them doesn't. Thank you, Ryan. So this is what I'm trying to share, is that when we start talking about being disciplined and we start taking a look at the energy that moves us and whether or not we have the ability to move ourselves, it's not about motivation. It is about discipline. It is about getting up and doing the work. And the talking about it is easy. The performing it is not. You have to get up and do the work. And your body's not going to always feel like it. You're definitely not going to feel like it emotionally. There are going to be things that are going to just feel like, ugh. And if you don't have a reason, trust me, if you don't have a reason for why you're doing what you're doing, because I guarantee you it's going to happen, and a lot of people fail in this space, at some point, your body, your life, your consciousness is going to ask you, why are we doing this? And if you can't answer why, you're not going to keep getting up. You're going to stop. You're going to fall off. You're going to let go, because the why of doing it is the driver. It doesn't mean it's your purpose, but it's the thing that gives you an understanding that the thing that you're doing is not just for the sake of doing it. So often people do things just for the sake of doing it. Sometimes the why behind doing something is simply to learn the discipline. If you want to get up and you still want to start you want to start running every day. And you start to do it, and then there's going to be a point where it's a difficult morning, you don't want to get up, there's no reason to, you can't figure out why, and you're going to say, why are we doing this? Why are we going running this morning? Like, why are we even doing this? Like, this is like, you chose to do this. Why? Like, you're not going to run a marathon. You're not looking to do anything. You're not like, why are you doing this? I'm doing this because this is the proof of discipline. Sometimes the why is just the proof of discipline. I am getting up and I'm going for this run because this is discipline. Because this shows to me that I have the ability to get up and go do this thing. And I can hold myself accountable, and I can set a standard, and I can live up to it, and I can be the best version of myself in this process. Sometimes that is the why. And when we figure out and we understand that sometimes that is what the why is, it allows for us to grow and become stronger. And now we can apply it to our finances. Why are you spending less money? Because I have the future purpose for my money. And so I can put this money into my bank account. I can put this money into stocks. Why are you eating less meat? Because I have a future purpose in my life. I have a future purpose in my fitness. Sometimes the proof, sometimes the discipline is the why. You have to convince yourself. You have to prove to yourself. You have to show to yourself, I can be disciplined. I can do the thing that I said that I can do. I am capable of performing in a way that I believe I'm capable of performing. But in order for me to get there, I actually have to start doing it. I have to start living in that way. I have to start taking these steps and progressing towards a goal. I have to do it. Here's the thing. When we look at our experience, when we look at our growth, when we look at our life, if we don't have a why, it makes it a lot easier to give up. But sometimes the why is just the evidence of how we're going to continue to keep going. That's why I say start with fitness. Fitness is the easiest thing because it's your body. It's there. It's already there. Just tell your body to do it. Get up, go for a walk. Well, I got, like, the kids are gonna be home soon, and like I gotta make sure that I'm putting this stuff away. I needed to do this other thing first. I'm working on. There's right. We can make excuses. Listen, man. Putting these things into our lives and creating these opportunity for ourselves sound easy, and the talk is easy. Me doing this channel, there's an expectation that I be up every morning, and that I be on here by 5:30. And I've missed a lot of mornings. And I'm still working on becoming consistent because I've done the repetition. I know what needs to be done. I know how it needs to be scheduled. I know what I need to do. And so that's the repetition portion of it. I've been patient because I've been doing it for over a year and a half now. We're working on my second year of doing it. I need to become consistent because if I want to monetize this and I want to turn this into a future and I want to turn this into the type of thing that I'm going to be able to do as a way of supporting myself, I need to now become consistent. And not only consistent with being on live, but consistent with recording videos, consistent with editing, consistent with posting, consistent with doing shorts. There has to be a degree of consistency. And then I have to persevere. I have to continue to move forward. I have to continue to grow. And so we have to go through these stages, and we have to be able to focus, and we have to be able to learn. But if we don't understand the why, we can fall apart. If we're not prepared to hold ourselves accountable, then we can fall apart. And it's always easy to make excuses. Well, you don't know. Like, I just had a surgery, man. I just had, honest truth, just had my appendix taken out. I just had the surgery. Well, I'm going through some things in my personal life. Well, I'm like, my job just takes a lot of my time. I got, like, my kids are growing up and I'm not seeing them. Like, you can always find an explanation. Always. You can always find an explanation. I'm going to stop calling them excuses. My children don't like when I call them excuses. You can always find an explanation, a way to define why you aren't where you want to be. Question is, can you find a way to be there? A reason to be there? So, thank you guys for being here this morning. As always, guys, I want you to know that this channel is focused on growth, discipline, and development. It's focused on understanding, knowing where you are, paying attention, acting with intention, and being aware of ourselves. I want to thank you for coming in this morning. If you haven't done so yet, please take an opportunity to drop a thumbs up. I want to thank you for being a part of this conversation, for sharing and allowing for me to share. I want you to remember, as you go out into your day, as you do your work today, I want you to think about what you're doing and how is that working for you. Think about the way that you speak to yourself, the way you've spoken to yourself in the past, and the expectations and the things that you hear from others. And I want you to go ahead and look and see, is this who I want to be? Am I working the way I want to? And how is this working for me? Continue to look at the behaviors that are getting you to where it is you're going, and speak to yourself with the energy necessary to help you achieve your goals. I know for what the people are doing, what people have done in the past, and what people will continue to do in the future will quite often be to look out at others and make that comparison. I want you to look inside today. I want you to look at you. I want you to look at what you're capable of and how strong you can be. And I want you guys to take this opportunity. Today, it's Wednesday. It is now 6:50 in the morning. I want you to go out, have the best version of your day. Wherever you are, I want you to remember, discipline is 4 pillars: repetition, patience, consistency, and perseverance. And as always, guys, keep showing up, keep growing up, keep blowing up. Until next time, God bless.